ChatGPT is launching a new dedicated health portal. JPMorgan Chase is taking over the Apple Card. And Ubisoft is shutting down a studio 16 days after it unionized. It's Thursday, January 8th, and here's a quick look at tech in the news this morning from Engadget. OpenAI is launching a new facet for its AI chatbot called ChatGPT Health. Now, this new feature will allow users to connect medical records and wellness apps to ChatGPT in order to get more tailored responses to queries about their health. The company noted that there will be additional privacy safeguards for this separate space within ChatGPT and said that it will not use conversations held in health for training foundational models. ChatGPT Health is currently in a testing stage, and there are some regional restrictions on which health apps can be connected to the AI company's platform. The announcement from OpenAI acknowledges that this new development is not intended for diagnosis or treatment, but it is worth repeating. No part of ChatGPT or any other artificial intelligence chatbot is qualified to provide any kind of medical advice. Not only are these platforms capable of making dangerously incorrect statements, but feeding such personal and private information into a chatbot is generally not a recommended practice. It seems especially unwise to share with a company that only bothered paying even cursory lip service to the psychological impacts of its product after at least one teenager used the chatbot to plan suicide. Apple announced that JPMorgan Chase will be the new issuer for the Apple Card. The official news arrived shortly after the Wall Street Journal reported that the two businesses had reached a deal regarding Apple's credit card service. According to the tech company, the transition to the new provider should take about 2 years to complete, but customers can continue to use their Apple Cards as usual during the interim. Apple has already published an FAQ about the change, but the main takeaway is that the status quo is currently continuing, and customers will receive information at a later date if any action is required. MasterCard will remain the Apple Card payment network under the new partnership. Goldman Sachs was Apple's collaborator when it launched the Apple Card back in 2019. And there have been signs in the past few years that Goldman Sachs has been looking for a way out of its arrangement. Apple did not disclose many details around either the current or future deals for its credit card, but the Wall Street Journal report claims the negotiations with JPMorgan Chase have been underway for more than a year. Sources told the publication that Goldman Sachs is offloading about $20 billion in outstanding customer balances at a discount of more than $1 billion. Ubisoft is closing a Canadian studio just over 2 weeks after it unionized. In a dizzying claim, the company told GamesIndustry.biz that the closure of Ubisoft Halifax was part of a company-wide action to streamline operations and unrelated to the unionization. On December 22nd, Ubisoft Halifax announced that 61 of its workers had joined the Game and Media Workers Guild of Canada. At the time, the studio's lead programmer, John Huffman, told CTV News that 74% of employees voted in favor of unionizing. Ominously, in hindsight, he had described the decision as a huge relief. The studio was working on mobile titles within the Rainbow Six and Assassin's Creed franchises. Ubisoft's official statement framed the shutdown as part of a broader pattern of financial belt-tightening. The company said over the past 24 months, Ubisoft has undertaken company-wide actions to streamline operations, improve efficiency, and reduce costs. As part of that, Ubisoft has made the difficult decision to close its Halifax studio. 71 positions will be affected. We are committed to supporting all impacted team members during this transition with resources, including comprehensive severance packages and additional career assistance. Back in October, Ubisoft announced that Massive Entertainment, developer of the Division series, Star Wars Outlaws, and Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, was offering buyouts to some employees. The company framed that move as a voluntary career transition program. Over the past few years, Ubisoft has closed offices and laid off workers in San Francisco and London. Back in 2024, the company's headcount dropped by 8%. Thanks for listening. Another full day of CES coverage is on the way today. Be sure to visit Engadget.com for all the latest tech coming out of Las Vegas this week. This episode featured journalism from Anna Washenko and Will Shanklin, and it was voiced and produced from the sound studios of Spoken Layer. Enjoy your day, and I'll be back tomorrow with more tech news from Engadget.